boy, here we go. Warning, there's gonna be politics, there's gonna be opinions, and there's gonna be Donald Trump. Also, my dad's working downstairs, so there's a slight possibility that you will hear some mumbling in the background. We're just gonna have to deal with this, because now's the time I have to film. I haven't planned this, so I don't actually know where this talk is gonna end, but I just need to say some things and get it off my chest, because it would be very unlike me if I didn't talk about this. I, of course, stayed up all night to watch the infamous election that happened almost 2 weeks ago now. And I went to bed around 6 a.m. Danish time when it was pretty clear that Hillary was not gonna win. This did not stop me from shedding a little tear when I saw the words President Trump on the television the next day and was scrolling through my Twitter feed. I was highly saddened. Not necessarily just because of Donald Trump, even though I don't think he's fit to be president, but the thing that really made me sad was that a man like Donald Trump could win. This is a man that has spent his entire campaign preaching hate. It's just been filled with bigotry and misogyny and racism and homophobia and all these horrible things that just incite hate in people. And knowing that he won, that means a huge portion of the US feels that same hate, at least to some extent. Or, if they don't feel it themselves, they can excuse people who do, because it doesn't affect them or they don't sympathize with the people that are affected by this. And I remember walking to school just having this feeling, sinking feeling of dread in my stomach and just looking out, and nothing seemed different, yet everything felt different. It was a grey morning, because it's November in Denmark and everything's grey, but it felt pretty fitting because that's how I felt. I felt the clouds, I felt the grey, I felt the dampness in the air from my newly dried tears. I felt the fear and the pain of the millions of people who took to Twitter telling the world about how they were fearing for their future, how they were afraid to wear their headscarves because they were afraid people would attack them, for hearing stories of people who were attacked because of their religion or their sexuality, hearing stories of little children telling their classmates that they were going to be sent home despite them being born in the US, and seeing people reading these things and then proclaiming that the right guy won. And even worse, seeing both sides attack each other. Because that's really why a guy like Donald Trump has won. It's because of the hate towards other people. It becomes an us and them situation. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this, thankfully, on this platform. The best thing we can do in the wake of this election is not to shout at each other. It's not to tell the people who voted for Donald Trump and call them an idiot, even though you might want to. It's not to blame the people who voted third party, even though we might feel that way. The best thing we can do is to communicate, to tell the other side why we feel how we feel, and to help them understand. And then in turn, listen to them, why they think this man is the best choice to lead the country, if they think this man is the best choice to lead the country. Because a lot of people, it seems, just voted for the lesser evil, and in their mind, the newcomer who doesn't seem to know what he's doing, and certainly doesn't know the rules that everybody else play by, is a much better choice than the woman who is the epitome of the political system in the US. Some people use their vote as a protest. We need to be better at listening to each other, and not just about our political views, but about our lives. We need to understand where other people come from. And I said protests, which is another thing that I've been seeing a lot. A lot of people took to the streets to protest, shouting, "Not my president." And I'm all for free speech. I'm all for voicing your opinion. But I did have a small issue with what seemed to be protested. It seemed like these people were protesting that Trump was president, which you can't. He won fair and square. He got the most electoral votes. And because democracy is very important, we all need to accept that and move on and see how we can try and make the best of the situation. However, I've also seen a lot of people say that the electoral vote system is not the best system, because Hillary did get the popular vote. She, as of right now, has 1.5 million more votes than Donald Trump. And a lot of people are saying that's unfair, that he gets to be president, and I completely agree. But that's exactly the sort of thing you should protest. You can't protest that Trump won fair and square the election and that he's currently the president-elect, and on January 20th he's gonna be the new president of the United States. However, you can protest the system that elected him so that in the future you won't have this problem. Because that's what we need to do now. There's a lot of work to be done. I'm not sure I can edit this into something coherent, but let me just rehash the points of work that I think we need to do from here on out. Work to change the system. If you think it's unfair, go for it. Help organizations who protect the people that Donald Trump has said during his campaign that he won't protect. And thirdly, communicate with each other. Realize that this is not an us and them. This is a me, you, him, her, and any and every other pronoun. And hopefully, somehow, we can start to mend all of this hatred that's currently in the world. I hope it makes sense. Know that this is, of course, just my opinion from my perspective. And please, just listen to each other. Just listen and be nice. Be kind to other people. I know I'll be watching very carefully, as I always do, what's gonna happen to America in the next 4 years. We're in for a ride, that's for sure. It's gonna be very interesting. All we could do is just hope for the best and support each other. Until next time, bye.